must unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Frank Castle. I'm your Sorcerer Supreme of Saturday nights here on Truth Frequency Radio. And I'm here with Paula Milo, my etherical translator.
Hey.
Happy to be back. It's been a long road. I almost let it out right there. I would almost bomb the whole show right there. Before we start the show, I want to give a shout out to Chris and Cherie. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. At least not like this. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Stick around for Beyond the Veils up next. If you like any of the music you hear tonight on the show, check out HeistClick. It's Heist Click. Basically everywhere. Just Google it. Amazon, iTunes. And then Frank Castle, Come Alive and Hate Me. If you enjoy the shows and you want to hear the past archives, please get a subscription, sign up, get the app. You could listen to all the great hosts, or as the lady before our show said, you can just complain about the whole group of us hosts. Because, we all swim in the same pool together, so we must be all riding that same surfboard. Wherever you are, make it TFR. One thing I want to do, I'm going to get all these out of the way now. The FearLess collection has started. It's already, the first shirt is now available. I think there's a couple of other products. It's the first shirt is
T-shirts ordered. A lot of orders.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch ordered. We weren't expecting the amount of orders we got right away. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. I put it everywhere else because I'm an endorsement whore. But you check it out. My cousin Tony's first shirt is Ra, the Fearless one. It's really awesome. You guys get a chance, and artists get an opportunity to take 50% of the profits in the opportunity we're having with our show. I'm trying to get everyone paid. Or at least everybody gets a cut. Everybody at the family table needs to eat, so everybody gets a cut. I don't know at what point we forgot this. That I was looking at statistics, and there's not a minimum wage job in the United States where you can hold down a 2-bedroom apartment anywhere. That's a horror show. I know so many single mothers that just, how do you work 2 jobs and have 3 kids? And we could talk all day about her having 3 kids and whatever, but that's beyond it's already done. What do you do? What are you supposed to do? How do you save you? They're making it more and more difficult. We're trying to make it more and more easy by giving more and more dimensions outside of the box. So thank you to all the artists that have been submitting. Wow. I was showing Paula some of the stuff earlier.
It's amazing.
Some of the stuff that's coming out. I had no idea, guys, that some of the listeners were as talented as they were and were able to throw down these graphic designs. I literally, they're more than what I expected by a lot.
Absolutely.
So we also are the proud owners of I Am Fearless, wearefearless.com. And anybody that wants to submit any of the artwork, either get me on Facebook or at the Real Frankie Fearless at Gmail. How you doing?
I'm good.
Did you have a nice meditation?
I guess something's going on with me the last 2 days. I really don't know.
And what's going on?
Just
Because I know this is going to be connected to all the changes.
Oh, I
anyway
know.
that's
It's just
going
an
on.
energy drain. Completely drained.
The weather here completely changed 5 times today, and it's blistering hot, and then muggy, and then hot again, and then muggy. Very difficult. Very difficult day. Well, this is my disclaimer, and I'm saying it now, and I'm getting it out of the way.
Get it out of the
I'm going
way
to take
now.
you somewhere tonight. This is why I'm like this. I don't know how to say this, some of this stuff, and I promised you guys I would just say it. But some
you
of it,
gotta just say it.
some of it is just,
It's very strange, but it's true.
I guess if you hung in by now and you've been listening to the story, you're well aware how weird it gets. And we're going to get really weird tonight. So this is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. Then by all means proceed. But first, we suggest you finding a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. I can't even speak tonight. It's like I am feeling that energy drain.
Yeah, you're feeling it, definitely. Your whole body was cramping.
Waking up dehydrated after drinking a gallon of water. I don't even know what that's about. My body's soaking up water and spitting it out as if it's just literally grabbing onto molecules in my body and pushing it through the surface of my skin to get rid of things. It's been interesting, and I know some people have sensitive to this stuff, So if you have stuff going on, just know you might not be going crazy. So one of the things I complained about was that I never have a good Halloween. Ever. I never get to go to the Halloween ball or the show or the party. Ever. I've performed one time on Halloween and had a great time, and I had a bunch of fun Halloween times as a kid. I have not really enjoyed myself with dressing up and going out. We're in the Bronx. 2 years ago, someone died. They got chopped in half. A guy and a young kid right down the block where we were trick-or-treating, and it was just as miserable as my attitude tonight. It was, who the hell wants to trick-or-treat after that? It becomes a real horror show. So just time after time, it's just taken away. And I always wondered what the hell that was about. And when, I go under, I ask questions like, hey, what's that all about? How come I can't get a good Halloween party? And they said to me, well, first of all, the Halloween itself, the way it's being done is more of a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little dark. So we don't suggest you be part of it. But what we do suggest you be a part of is Halloween every day. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you decided at some point to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And dress up like this in this flesh suit called Frank.
Right.
And the people next to you, this is Paula, but we know that that's not Paula. That's actually more than Paula. I don't know how else to put that. It's just more than.
That's it.
And so you have your fashion and your belief systems and your attitudes and your this, that, and the other. And put it all together. Now go out and have fun. Go dress up and go have fun. It's actually Halloween every day. Everyone here is wearing pretty much a human suit for the most part. And not everything animating the human suit is the same thing. So that's Halloween.
Yeah, you're right.
And then some of them are here as ETs. Some of them are here as, inner Earth. Some of them is here as interdimensional. To them, we're well, we're not quite interdimensional yet, but we would be characters from another dimension.
Right, exactly.
So, and then they would consider themselves the singularity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing, the singularity that's been going on. Feeling the singularity being the point of attraction. Terence McKenna thought of it as a magnetic attraction.
Yeah.
Right? Like something out in the future that's attracting you towards it while the whole timeline is being created and pushing you towards it.
You don't even know why.
The great attractor, right? The thing that's out of time. It's right there, but too far out. Anu took religion and put it out there. He put God, since he programmed your spacesuit, he brought the idea of God so far out into the future that you'd be chasing your tail looking for it, when meanwhile it's you the whole time.
Right.
And he's no different than you, and you're no different from him. You're both creator beings, except one's trying to be slick, right? One's trying to pull the looky-loo. I want to run this. We're like, hey, we're just trying to set people free. What are you doing?
But that's the problem, right? We're not supposed to remember. We're not supposed to know.
You know what's funny? We see it as a problem, which it is, but without that antagonist, we wouldn't be able to rise. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, sometimes they say the hero makes the villain. I mean, the villain makes the hero,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Joker, without him, Batman's just
A guy in a suit.
a guy in a suit. It's just his morals aren't called into it as hard as they would be as if this guy showed up that pushes you to your limits
Well, there's
and
nothing
beyond.
to compare it to.
Where you would say you're fearless, he would say, I'm bringing you the fear.
Right.
And this is a constant push. This isn't something that ever goes away. That's why all the characters fight their reverse others. Last week we talked about me meeting the reverse of myself. The actual opposite. The guy who, when I say jump, he says duck. Like, it's just not happening. But when you see that, it's like a waypoint. It's a balance.
Right.
And we have to learn how to deal with that. One of the things we've been doing lately is pushing out this negativity. So we come upon days where all of a sudden, where we loved every day, we hate. And I hate you, and I hate this, and I hate that, and I hate the way this goes, and I can't stand you, and this is your fault, and why do you blame me? And it's it's you, and then my foot hurts, and my back hurts, and my neck hurts, and the shower doesn't work, and the car didn't start, and I'm late for work. I know.
The downward spiral.
You see how I could just keep going with that one. I could make a comedy show where I just bring it down the downward spiral over and over and over again, because I came from there. I lose my energy, I lose my strength too, but within that, I know that I will grow stronger again, and I try not to go absolutely hopeless when there's nothing really wrong.
Right.
It's just like this emotional swing and outpour that's, you don't even realize.
Well, this is like a purge we're going through right now. I mean, this is terrible.
A waking
so
purge.
Terrible. Yeah.
Well, we're not the only ones going through it. For me, this only started last night. It was just a shift of, I could not handle energy anymore. I just could not do it. I had no energy. The energy was gone. It was all finished. Earlier in the day, complete different story. Later in the show, we're going to discuss all of that. But it's been a wrecking ball in the environment.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, wrecking ball, because I feel like I got hit with it. I was doing good. I was minding my own business and strolling along and everything was fine. And now I don't know what's happening. It's like this purge is happening. It's like all of this, I feel like these toxins are coming out.
Toxins of lifetimes, developing diseases and injuries and things you carry over from birth, from one time to the next life. This all has to be released. You're all going to go through with it. All of you. One way or another. It's going to get so hard.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, I don't even know. I got it. Like, I just got this. Like, I don't know. Why would I even have thought it was that hard to begin with when I'm so awesome? So don't go crazy thinking you're having these thoughts. It's happening to all of us. 1 minute I'm like, oh, I love this. And the next minute I want to Hulk smash through the wall.
Right.
But then another minute later, I'm absolutely fine. And I realize it's almost like we are to see the emotion as it occurs, as it rises up out of us, whether it be negative or positive, accept it, see it for what it is, and don't sit in it.
No.
Kind of realize it and go, oh, get the out of here, or I want more of that. It's one side or the other. Like, oh, that felt nice. I'd like more of that. Or I don't like to be that guy at all. I've said things this last week that just come out of my mouth. It doesn't even sound like me. And then instantly gone, felt horrible. But then it did not occur again. Whereas if you were spiraling out of control, it would slip. You'd have slip moments, right? What I had was not a slip moment.
No.
What I had was a forceful, aggressive, in your face. I'm going to just say what I'm going to say, and you're going to deal with it. If you don't like it, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
And
Because
then,
we're doing this.
Because we're going to do this. But then the minute, I mean, not even within a minute, with that, the words leaving my mouth, instant embarrassment or shame. So the pain of having this angry thing that I shot out was good. And then what I was said was so bad that it just made me feel dumb again. It was like a repeating thing. And then it's like, now learn from that. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to do that again. And it's like, well, then good. Don't. It's like, well, I haven't really even done that in a long time. Why would that even happen? I feel like I'm pressured to explode. And they're like, remember that time a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, where you felt the same exact way.
And you would have in that.
And in that moment, you popped instead of just saying something and feeling bad. You actually lost it. You failed that test then because you didn't even recognize it. And now you're passing it because you're like, I recognize that, and I don't like that. I don't like it about me. I don't like it about you. It just all around sucks. So we're going to just push that out and then move on. Because when you hang on to it and you hold on to it, it just hurts more. It's disgusting. It causes reactionary things, pain, extra pains in your bodies, extra headaches that, that people have all the time. I got a headache. I don't want to hear it. I know that headache. And it's just from hearing a vibration. It's not even what you're saying or how you're saying. It's literally just whatever's coming out.
Yep. You're picking up whatever's being given. And you can either process it sometimes or you can't. And that's what we're kind of going through now, right? We took a lot of stuff in. Now we have to purge it out.
I just threw my notebook across the room 3 minutes ago because I don't need it. I literally don't need it. I got a couple of notes about yesterday, but this is all whatever. It is what it is. It's great. It's dandy. It's level up time, but level up is not easy.
No, nothing about it is nothing about it is easy. Nothing about it is easy.
Nothing about life is easy. Nothing about anything is easy. If it's that easy, you're being lazy probably. Like the lazy river, you go to the action theme park and you go sit in that thing, and everybody knows that's for the hoo-has, right? And you go sit in there and have a beer there.
That's my favorite place.
Yeah, well, you don't know how to swim though, so for you, I'll give you a pass. Okay. Not every single person in the lazy river is a lazy bum.
Okay. Right.
Some of us are just taking a lazy moment.
Stop pedaling.
No, I'm not pedaling. Y'all are crazy. So bluebirds in our backyard
all the time now.
Seems to be the new thing since I started reading the Emerald Tablets and started talking about it. Paula being Snow White,
yes,
and attracting the different animals to the backyard. There's a giant blue jay in the backyard, and there's a couple of little bluebirds. Now, with them come messages of now. I'm just saying what I've read this week.
Yep.
With the bluebird comes along a message of the spiritual realm, the divine realms, that they're there, they're watching you, and everything will be okay. It's kind of a protective thing. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. Like, bluebirds are here, but I'm not the only one that has a bluebird in my backyard all of a sudden. There's a whole bunch of other ones of us that are like, you're just walking down the street and you're like, oh, bluebird. I'm in the Bronx, guys. Bluebirds don't come here.
No, they come here. You don't usually notice them because you're busy looking at your phone when you're walking. Do you know what I mean?
I would just think it's more of a concrete jungle. We got pigeons galore. And
we don't have any pigeons around here.
The train station is one block right there. What are you talking about?
There's no pigeons in our backyard. We have pretty little birds in our backyard. I haven't seen a pigeon. By the train station.
All right, hold on. Wait. You're going to debate with me right now on air about being pigeons in New York and in the Bronx.
I'm not.
What are you insane? They're the flying rats of this entire 5 boroughs.
Do you see,
to have a bluebird
do you hear the aggression?
There's going to be more aggression. To have the bluebirds flying around.
There are bluebirds.
Is beautiful here.
Yes, there's other birds.
The only other birds I see flying in are the Toronto Blue Jays when they come in to play the Yankees. That's about it.
Okay, Frank.
So these are important things to realize, all right? Whether they are flying around or not, it's if they're landing in front of you and acting out in whatever, like, hey, take a look at me kind of thing.
Oh, these birds definitely want your attention. That they call to you. We can see them from inside the house. They call. They chirp till you notice them.
Well, they chirp. I notice when the cats are inside now, they come to the gate, and that's feeding time. Although I haven't properly done it. You should always keep a little something in this heat. And the dogs, especially the dogs, but the cats, even the possums, raccoons, all of them, the birds, they need water. Just put a little dish of water out there. And, you don't have to put food out or anything, but just being around the animals now, I have a new sense of being like an animal.
You were just like an animal. Oh, yes, we're having a pigeon debate. I love our chat room, folks. Yes, Frank and I.
That's all right. I'm not hanging on to it. We're over
the pigeon debate.
So, the animals coming into your life to deliver these divine messages. What are you seeing out there? Are you guys running into this? An abundance of cats, or how about even new friends?
Oh,
I'm gonna try to connect it over.
I know.
But are you guys making new friends, animals and new friends?
Why don't you tell them about what happened the other night with the little girl, the little stray cat, when you were sitting outside? She came running up behind you.
Why? She's with me every night.
Oh, well, came by. What scared her and came by? Walked right next to you.
Oh, the raccoon. Yeah. A raccoon came out. We have raccoons in the backyard. This one's not. This one's like a cute, chubby raccoon.
Yeah,
he didn't have like stuff coming out of his mouth, but the cat ran up to me to protect me.
Right.
Which is pretty interesting because cats don't do that.
Nope.
All right. But they do when they're on your team. Our cats act like dogs.
Even Riverdale has pigeons. We have pigeons in the neighborhood, just not in the backyard.
Thank you very much, chat room. Like I'm saying. Exactly.
Oh, no,
well, the simplest look is uncanny.
No, I sound like a pigeon snob.
If I would say this, if I didn't know anything, well, if the American Indians knew about the messages the bluebirds brought, then it must mean something good. But really, look some of this stuff up, Google it. Don't have me just say, hey, is this happening to you? Take a look. I'm trying to scratch the surface a little bit.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a lot of things. So you guys just go, hey, what's the significance of that?
Yeah, it's nature. If nature is reaching out to you, they have a message they want you to receive.
Listen, I was listening to my cousin. he was doing speech to text, right? And I'm like, I've talked to you about 100, and it was some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. And he was like, yeah, you got that, right? I'm like, hey, listen, you asked me 100 questions. How come you never Google anything I say by just saying, hey, what is the significance of this? And he just looked at me, and he was so confused. And I'm like, you have the machine in your hand.
But he never thought about it that way.
So it's always the simplest thing.
Yeah, you never
I have to show people this once in a while because it gets wish-washy. Right? Like my mother will sit with me and ask me a question while she's Googling something. Right? And I'm like, why are you asking me? It has to do with...
She wants the best answer.
So making new friends has been becoming an abundant new hobby and situation for those who are awakening and actually taking the step and going into the directions.
We're finding each other. We're all finding each other.
I had an excellent day early yesterday with an ayahuasca ceremony, and I wasn't expecting to do anything. I decided to do it just a little bit. Just let me see what's going on. I had a friend listens to the show. I'm not going to say his name, but got in touch with me, somebody from out of state. Didn't know him. Seemed like a nice person, talked to me a few times, and then somehow found his way up here.
Right.
Not specifically to do anything with me, but to put it on the list, the bucket list. If I'm in New York, let's get this done.
Right.
So guess what happened? I got hit up on good old F-Book, and hey, I'm here. Got any free time for me? And I've been telling you this over and over. Not working with nobody new. Not after what happened to my man Jay. But turns out Jay wasn't my fault. Naturally, of course it wasn't. It wasn't anybody's fault.
But you knew that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making a point. So it turns out that wasn't the deal.
Right.
So now it reopened the doors. It just took weeks again to get my act back together.
Right.
You know, it's just sad.
It was sad. It was very sad.
You know, but all right. So if I was to be like, oh man, no, that sucks. And holding on to that dark thought that I could have helped more or this or that, I would have never had my situation happen yesterday.
Right.
For some reason, I just felt like, hey, compelled, like, hey, this is great. This guy seems like a no issue kind of problem guy. He listens to the show. He's already had a few experiences, but one was so crazy and one was so light. Right. And it wasn't Aya, so it was DM. So having those experience, you have one that's like, oh, this is whack. I saw some lights and everything. And then you have the one where the lizards are looking at you. Mm-hmm. That will ruin you by what? I'm going to describe what he described to me. He said, the first time I tried this, which was a while back, I hit a wall. There was a wall there. And the being came out and he had a hood, black hood. Now, there's always a lot of these descriptions of black hooded, like rogue characters.
Repeated descriptions.
Right? You think you're listening to a Star Wars movie with the hooded robed emperors and stuff. And he said it was a crocodile man that turned at him and looked at him. And then
you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it.
Then the face went and transformed. And
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I a weak or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were alive until you felt my pain. The circus.
What's up? We are back. And I don't keep my headphones on. I keep them like 2 feet behind my head on the dresser.
They're not 2 feet behind your head. They're right behind your head.
All right, Paul is pushing that one tonight. Paul wants to fight off air with everyone who is in the chat room. She's calling you out TFR style.
I don't want to.
She wants UFC and TFR right now. It's going down in your house, pay-per-view style.
I just want to be loved.
Yeah. All right, love. So, and by the way, my buddy that I'm talking about tonight is in the chat room right now. I'm not going to say his name because I can't phone you in tonight, my brother, but we're gonna have this conversation. I'll bring you on for your side of the story. So this is what happened when he went under. His description was like a crocodile man under the black hood, shape-shifting into a different reptile.
Yep.
Like a snake man, and then into a different reptilian type, back into the crocodile man, right? So when he decided that love, like he didn't want to see this, he wanted love, right? Because you see that stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how tough of a guy you are, you're going down for the count, son.
It's terrible.
We're men. We are men that do this, and when you see this, you become a child that shrieks like a girl. You're and there's nothing wrong with it because we all do it. I don't think many of us stare at that and go, I like that. I'd like to stay here with you and get to know you better, especially because you're getting the feeling from this thing like I don't have your best intention while it's reaching out, Yeah. It's almost like a cloak wrapping around you that you can't see of energy.
It's trying to take all those negative feelings.
So that's how they feed off of you. Exactly. So he decided to go with the light, and he said, I quote, a green light came out of his heart chest. Mm-hmm. And then he woke back up instantly.
That happened to you?
And then said, that's it? Like, oh, wow, that was Okay, so this is going to get really intense. He was telling me this story. Naturally, he shows up, and I'm like, "Come on, let's." I start sweating a little. I go, "I saw 2 cups. Wonder if the brew's old."
Yeah,
right.
and
It takes a little
brew.
time. I go through this every time. Wonder what's happening. How is it working in them? And I'm watching them, and it starts to change a little bit. It starts to talk to him. I should have a little more. 3rd cup. Don't need the whole 3rd cup.
Right.
I say to him, I drank too. Not quite as much as you because I have to watch.
Right.
But I'm
ready to assist.
I'm ready to assist. I'm here. But I got a better way to get you in. Right? There's a little trick I've learned as a shaman. If you're not getting in because they're just fixing you, which he kept saying like they're removing the gunk.
Right.
Layers
sludge.
of sludge after sludge. Yes, by the way, no wings. I said this on last week's show. You guys put that picture up. No wings. I don't know if it was quite that tall, but greenish with brown, the reptilian type, down in Tampa Bay.
He's talking
at one of the
to
sessions.
chat room folks
Yeah,
right now.
he just popped it up. So I pulled out the DMT and I'm like, hey,
Right.
1 shot,
Yep,
go.
This will help you.
My man went for it. 1 shot, eyes rolled into the head. It starts to happen. It goes down after 2 hours of me just talking to him, having great conversation, getting relaxed.
Yeah.
Now, something happened when we first met each other. It was like really a cool moment. Like we saw each other and we were like, yo. And there wasn't like this odd, I don't know you, buddy. That never occurred. I'm positive he didn't feel it because we just started chatting right away.
Right.
People were fixing things around here. And we had to stay outside. We were just chatting and then came inside, chatted again, then chatted again. And I'm like, man, and he said something so interesting to me. He goes, I've done this before. I know, I don't know how I know, but I know I've done this before. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. This should be, because I don't know too much about him. So we just, talked a little more. I wonder, well, I don't know how much you listen to the show, but no. I listen to the show. I got a shirt. It's not even that I'm a fan. It's just that your voice, it's your voice. You did something I knew right away.
It was an
Now,
activation.
where have we heard this before? I talk about this about all of my crew.
Well, it happened to me with you. Your beard was my activation.
Yes, exactly.
It's the same thing. He heard your voice, and he had it was tied to a whole range of memories.
Yeah,
He
like we've done
unlocked a
this
whole-
before.
Yeah, unlocked a whole room.
Was this a
filled with
coincidence? Do we even know each other? But I
Right.
feel like I know you. Well, we go through that with some people. We have this overwhelming feeling of, I know you. Once
Yeah,
we get over,
absolutely.
once the
Mhm.
masks come off,
Yep.
right? And then it's like, familiarity
Yep.
of some kind. All right, so I'm asking him, you see anything? You see anything? You see anything? Like I'm pushing, and then I take a hit. And then I hear, mind your business. We
Right.
want you to get up and shut up. Right? So it pretty much rude like that too. Because me and him were chatting, and then he went down.
Right.
Right. So they didn't want me to interfere. So I go, hey, listen, my brother, I'm just going to get up and go over there because they don't want me anywhere near you. They don't want me to interfere. He says to me, I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to sit right back down.
Right.
He's like, you make me feel really comfortable, like really
Right,
good.
Right.
So you're gonna stay there. So I said, okay. I have no problem with that. I want to sit here. So
Right. That's my job. That's your job. That's what you're gonna do.
So I sit back down, and it starts to occur. As if it wasn't there, and now it's fully loaded. And he says to me, hey, let me get those crystals you got there. I got up. I was explaining this to him later. I never opened my eyes. I knew where the crystals were.
Right. With
but
your eyes
then
closed.
I can see them. My eyes closed. They were shining like a crystal would, like out of that distortion that you're seeing in the DMT plane. So I'm like, okay, you have to put this one in your left hand, this one in your right hand, because I could see what they're giving off. Immediately with him touching the right one, like the right one to each hand, I was like, oh, look how it's reacting. Boom. Okay, that's the right one.
Right.
Like that's how you know. And it's funny. I'm testing the water out by, I don't know which one to give him first, but somehow it's like that other guy knows. The other part of you just knows,
Right.
yes, that's
so
the
they
one.
help you. And,
Yeah, it's not like you're guessing
yeah,
it correctly
Yeah,
each
they're
time.
giving you the clue.
It's like you have the knowledge and
Yeah.
it's unlocking at that moment. So I sit back. This is funny. I sit back down, and I slump inward on myself. Right, like my head tilts, my chin is on my chest, and I'm just, oh, what is this? And there's a hand comes down, and I'm sitting in this room on the other side, and I see the hand drop through layers of reality, like it just reaches in. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Now, right next to me, I can see him there.
Right.
Right. But it looks like he's a mirror reflection of myself. And none of my energy was touching his. We weren't allowed to touch any energy, nothing, no interaction. They didn't want me near him. But he was like, nah, you're going to stay. So what was happening, they were building around us like a roof. It looked like inside the room, there was a roof being built over us, like lines and grids were being built around us. And as I was watching that, I go, there's a giant hand. What are you doing? I said, and I just said this, my heart hurts. I removed something that went back to the old injury.
Right.
And then grabbed me again. And they were like, say no more. I say they because it didn't feel like, it just felt like an all type thing.
Collective.
Like a collective. Thank you. It pulled my heart out. Like just reached in, grabbed it, pulled it right out. And I went, oh, you're taking my heart. And I remembered, no matter what happens, whatever they take from you, give it freely. Submit to it and let them take it.
Yep.
You're infinite. It just comes back like the right version that you need just all of a sudden appears as soon as the garbage one gets removed. Right? It's like instant upgrade, but you don't realize it. And you're like, you're taking that belongs to me. Right. And the hand was just like, and I remembered. I said, nah, it's okay. And then it grabbed my face and pulled a layer off. Now this layer went from head to toe and my heart. It was all internal stuff. They were taking everything from this one layer. And they said, look, man, they actually said it like this. You don't need this any longer. And I said, what do I not need any longer? I don't need all of that. And they said, it does not suit you. Done. And I watched it fold into an egg shape, which was really weird. And it went up. And as it went up, I noticed there was a black hole in the right-hand side of the construct I was in. It was spinning clockwise, and it started sucking the egg in, and the egg's energy was being pulled into this direction, and it just stretched and bended and then coiled up and boop, went into this black hole portal looking thing, and it just closed up. And I felt so good. I sat back up. I went, oh, man, that pain in my heart's gone. Oh, man. And they were like, calm down. We're fixing things. And then I looked over like to see, and he goes, like, yo, Frank, it's crazy. I don't quite understand what's happening right now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it gets crazy. Because I don't want to scare him while he's in. Right. But they're not letting me connect. So I'm just kind of look over and I'm like, yeah, man, that's crazy. And then he's like, hey. And I'm looking at this room and the room starts connecting. I'm like, wait, is that energy just slipped through the wall? So then I hear a voice tell me, no, wait for this. This is a surprise. And I'm like, ooh, a surprise. This should be good. And I look over and I'm not in my chair. I'm on the other side in the house and I'm looking at him and he looks exactly like me. I mean, he looks like him, but his energy was me and I was him. And it was the exact same. Everything was exactly the same for him as it was for me. And I said to him, oh, wow. He goes, would you hold my hand? And I could tell because I was slumped in the chair still. I was sitting up, but I was eyes closed, chin down. And I didn't open my eyes, but I could see his hand like reaching to me. And I said, I can't hold your hand right now. And then I was back on the other side. And I looked at him and he looked back at me. He's like, why not? But his hand wasn't out on the other side. And I go, because we're on the other side. Bro, we're here. Together. And he's like, I can see you. I'm like, holy shit, this is ridiculous. This is the most insane thing.
Yep.
You're witnessing what I'm. He's like, wow. All right. So while I'm watching this, they're telling me you guys are the same house. So I was saying that I said, we're in this house, and we're the energies are the same, and that's why they were mirror images of each other, and they're coming too. Now, mind you, I do not know him.
Right.
I never met him.
Right.
We didn't speak at long length. You know,
Just
I
a
guess.
nice guy that you wanted to give a little help to.
So I go, hey, buddy, my brother. And he goes, yeah. I go, I think you're a shaman, because he was in the same house with me.
Right.
Everyone in my house is a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. There's no one that's not. Most of us are. That's the whole thing. Most of us are warriors as well. And he is definitely a warrior. I said, what is his name? And inside the house, a carousel formed. Now, I've talked about these carousels.
Yes.
They show them to me, and they're like, look, the oversoul is running multiple carousels. Well, this time, just one formed in the room. I said, tell me his name. And the carousel was, first it was spinning towards me, and then it went backwards, like it was going back in time. And it was spinning, and they said one of his names. They just picked one, and it like lit up as the little hobby horse that was on the carousel lit up, and his name was revealed. But they said, look, that's just one name. So and they made a point of that. They were like, listen, that's just one name. So I said to him, I'm not going to remember that. Is that Spanish? And they were like, no. So I go, I'm not going to remember that. And I knew that. I tried to repeat it, and I said, no, that was so. I would have expected more than what they said to me, right? That I would have been able to repeat that. So I said, that was cool, but who is he? And then he's like, wait. And the carousel spun faster, and then bing, stops. And I'm telling you, like a billboard of lights on the carousel lit up in giant colorful letters. Mm-hmm. It just said, true sons of Atlantis. And then a voice said to me, it said, hey, you guys and your names are ridiculous. Yeah. But you have so many that it's not even, they were like, it's not fun at some point to just keep telling you who you are, because there's that many. They didn't find it fun.
Well, the carousel,
but it was fun.
Was like representing all the lives.
Lives,
right? Yeah. So they were picking from each life.
Yes. Then I go, yo, you're my brother, and he's like, the sitting in the room, the smells, the sounds.
It gets weirder.
Is all. We've all done this before. Then the carousel starts spinning again, the other way.
Yeah, it's like a Rolodex.
And I go, they're like, you two have been at this since Atlantis. You ready? And I'm like, okay, what are you showing me? And it's spinning so fast, and we looked like two jumping beans. We were jumping from the background into the carousel, right? Like little beans. Woo, woo, yay! And then I guess we get killed, jump out, jump right back in. Woo, woo. And we were jumping in and out, and every time we found each other, how we did it, it would light up.
What's the soul line?
Right, like this time you didn't, so it just spun, and then this time you did, and then this time he found you and was the shaman, and he woke you up with ayahuasca, and this time, you both got into a fight in the street, you ended up both killing each other, didn't know it was you jumped out of your body, look what happened, oh man, look what we did, jump back in. That's you two guys. You find each other
each time.
Every time. There wasn't a time where we didn't find each other. It was just that we had the amnesia, so we didn't know.
Right.
And then there was a whole bunch where we had full compression breakthrough. Mm-hmm. But then, you go off after an ayahuasca, and then you see what happens. Sometimes you don't, things happen in your world or my world, and you're no longer there. And then it changes the course of what could have been. Or what would have been. So I start crying, like you've seen me do it, like, oh no, right? And then he starts talking. He's like, dude, we've done this over and over and over, and I just look at him and I'm like, I'm just happy you could see us on this other side. Like, I started the only finding. It was like a joyful cry, but at that moment, I felt like all I had was this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I understand that.
I was so sad and so happy. And he was explaining it all back to me, and I'm like, "Look, man, this is incredible. I'm glad everything worked." I got to hold on to that thought because I'm going down the rabbit hole out there.
Right.
Oh, my brother's back.
Right.
Now, here's the weird thing that gets even crazier.
Here it comes.
We my family, my crew, y'all knew who you are. He's one of us.
Yep.
We're finding each other. We're all now. This is my story. In your story, yours are finding you, and you're finding yours, right?
Right.
So in your universe, don't think that you're not. They come in weird ways. In my world, there's ayahuasca and stuff because I chose to do that. In your world, you could be doing an auto mechanic, and and a librarian, and just you bump into each other and get out of my way. Blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, that could be your Paula or your Frank. Right? You got to look for these things. Your awareness level has to be more to see this stuff. I choose the ayahuasca route because it gives you the awareness. We both agreed yesterday that you could meditate and be a yogi and you could do all that stuff. That's great. That's awesome. That you need it. That's great. But it ain't going to get you a quarter of what you're going to get by just going this route, making it part of your diet.
No, you're not going to get there.
You unravel.
No, you're right about that. You're not going to get there from here because I'm avoiding it, and I don't know why. And the drinking, I have to drink some tea. I know it. I need to remove sludge also, and it's funny because I said the word, and it was the same word your friend used.
And there was another moment where he used what you say about people wanting to stay here.
Oh, when people come here, no one ever wants to leave when they come here. It's very homey and very welcoming here. No one wants to leave.
He was getting a little nervous because when you're chucking in a bucket, and let me tell you, he's just like me.
Yeah.
He chucked in the bucket. But immediately he said when it came out, another one, I'm going to get him on the show. We're going to do this soon, where he threw up and he's like, yo, dude, if there's anything that's keeping me from doing this, it's the throw up part.
Yep. That's what I say all the time.
But the bliss comes after the throw up, right? He's like, I heard after the gunk coming out, the boom, and he was like, oh man, I'm here.
That's what happened to me.
Like I can see you now.
What happened to
I
me.
couldn't see you, but now I can see you.
Yeah.
Right? Jay's mom, Bev, hey, there was nothing. It was dark. It was cold. Put it back in again. Oh my God, it's so hot. Oh my God, it's so warm. Oh my God, I can see the light. Right? Breaking through and going into this other realm, being blissfully shown who you are. The universe rewarding bravery. I don't know how many ways I can shape this for people to understand. You're not. All right.
But
people worry about demons and stuff.
That's not.
We're not dealing with that anymore. This is the removal.
Yeah, we're past that. This is the removal of.
And I don't even mean for you amateurs that are trying to do this now. Like once it's gone, and you're saying to yourself, "Oh, that's how I keep it away from me." There's a little learning to learn. Like, oh, the dark cloud that follows me around. Let's remove it. Right. Let's learn how not to bring it back, and then you don't have to deal with that because it's like learning, don't stick your hand in the fire, right? So you don't turn the stove on and put your hand on the flame. Duh. But you have to show people in the spiritual realm the exact same thing. It's a fire. Don't stick your hand in it. Don't call to it and bring it to yourself. It's going to show up and it's going to bring friends. And you're like, I'm the light. I'll smack you in the mouth. You're not doing anything.
No.
They're going to put you in a box and they're going to laugh at you and torture you and torment you until someone comes along that can break you out of there, or you break yourself out of there until you've had enough. And you don't even want that. You don't even want that. So don't even bother with it. We're so powerful that when we call to things, they show up. One of my favorite things he said yesterday, he's like, I was looking, you think it's over there, it's over here. and you pull it away, and it's right
there,
right in front of me, staring at me. And he's like, "What are you,
Yep.
what are you doing?"
Right in front of your face.
So when he took that hit and he went down, and we went to the other side, right, and we were both going through that. Okay, this was my most favorite thing. He goes, "Hey, man, how long have we been gone?" And I'm like, "Hey, my brother, like 6 minutes."
But that's what it feels
And he was like,
it feels like you've been gone for a day.
His eyes opened
Yep.
wider than mine
Yep.
when I'm excited,
Mhm.
which is comic book version stuff. And it amazes people. Time, space, all right, he corrected me yesterday. It exists. It's real over here.
Not over there.
Not over there.
Yeah, I learned that. Remember, I asked you too. 15 minutes had gone by, and it felt like, I swear to God, it felt like a week. It felt like I needed to pack a backpack.
I remember I looked, I was like, it's like been 15 minutes since you last asked me.
So time.
And you start to look like that guy that's like, whoa,
time
but
in
I've been away
reality
for 4,000 years.
Yeah, it's very different. It's very, very different.
You come back and you think, listen, my beard's completely white.
Yeah, you feel like
I have no hair. I'm wrinkly and old. How long have I been away? 14 seconds. Whoa, wait, what?
But that part is amazing.
Because when you crack the veil, you literally step out of time space. Time space is coordinates. Right? That's what it is. Inside of the universal construct.
Right. And here we think it's linear.
Yeah.
Like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there isn't. It's all happening now. That's why when I say it's always now, it truly is always now, because it's you now. It's you in the future. It's you in the past. It's you 6 minutes ago. It's you 10 minutes ahead. It's always now.
When, what do they call it? Mana and prana, right? When you breathe in, breathe out.
Oh.
I think that's what it's called, right? The divine breath. All right.
Yeah.
This is what I kept telling him. The only thing I could tell you to do, it's literally, with all the stuff I ramble about, honestly, the only thing that's going to help you on the other side in your individual experience is to breathe and to submit. And they're like, wait, breathe and submit. I don't submit, but of course I have to breathe. No, you're going to submit. Yep. And you have to submit.
It's the easiest thing that you'll ever do, but it's the hardest thing to conceive.
You're like, submit. I don't
get, do that.
I don't get submitting it. But when your mother was giving you a bath as a baby and changing your diapers,
you gotta trust that she's not gonna drown you. You gotta.
You
trust
submit,
it.
right? They're teaching you how to, do stuff.
Trust.
and the breathing, and I would tell them the breath in is like the bringing in everything you've learned and you connect to in the spider web, in the singularity. You suck it in through the divine breath, and then you breathe it out, and it expands out, just like when they say God spoke and it sent the universe forth, right? And then he took a breath. It's like blowing out. He spoke the words. Let there be light. Whoosh. And then it's us out there gaining the information with other forms of life and all different kinds of stuff. Yeah, and we're just inhaling
actually
it,
getting it,
exhaling it. And then it's multiverse and multi-layered, and then there's multiple ones of us doing it, infinite versions. So we're all breathing in and breathing out, contracting at the same time. We love you guys. We're your protection from deception. Stick